thankful to attract also audience from outside of Europe. Maybe we can go to the next one, Louisa. So this is the agenda. I will start together with Alessandro Zattoni, and I'll explain in a bit what our functions are. Talking about EURAM, then we give the floor to Steve Brammer and Panos Disilas. Sandeep, please, to talk about Bath and Bath School of Management. And then also about the conference, I guess. Hamid Kasseruni will talk about the EURAM conference structure, how you can best prepare to get most out of the conference. And then, so I hope we will have enough time left for a Q&A after that. Maybe the next one, Louisa. Okay, yeah. So I already introduced myself, Niels Noorderhaven, currently chair of the board of EURAM. And with us is also Alessandro Zattoni, the president of EURAM. Now, these are the two major positions that are directly elected by the members. So many other positions are also filled by elected people, but that is an indirect election. But for the president and for the chair of EURAM, there's a direct election process. And how are these people positioned in the organization? Well, first of all, what is EURAM? We are legally a non-profit organization under Belgian law. And that is because our headquarters is and has always been located in Brussels, where also our office is with Louisa and Nicola. So founded in 2001, so already a respectable age. We are a professional community of engaged management scholars and reflective practitioners. And to be quite honest, it's not so easy to combine researchers, scholars, and practitioners in one organization, in one association. We aim to be open and inclusive, international and cross-cultural, but that, I think, goes without saying. We are, in contrast to some other association, an association with individuals as members. We do not have institutions like universities as members. And we make a distinction between regular members and then as a regular member, you can get a special rate if you sign up for multiple years. And we have a special rate for PhDs and emeritus professors. It is a volunteer organization. So as I will explain later, we have many people who are actively involved in one role or another within EURAM. All of that is on the volunteer basis. But we have 2 paid staff members in Brussels. A very small office in Brussels with Louisa and Nicola. Maybe go to the next one. Yeah, so I'm very happy to show this slide because as other associations, scholarly associations, we have had a difficult time during the pandemic when we couldn't organize, at least not in person, our annual conference, and that immediately led to a significant drop in the number of members. So looking back, you know, now it may seem like a long time ago and why were we worried so much? But many people at that time thought that the in-person conferences would probably or possibly not return, that we would stay in a model of online conferences. And that is a very difficult model for an association like ours. So we were very happy to see that not only could we start again with our in-person conferences at Winterthur and Dublin and now Bath, but also that we have seen actually the number of members rise to a level that we haven't had before. So currently we're at almost 2,500 members. And I think there is still a lot of opportunity for growth, actually. And also happy to see that we have a really quite significant proportion of non-European members. I think that is really important that we also attract scholars from other parts of the world. Next one, please. Okay, now I'm going to be quick here because I think it's probably not so interesting for you to hear a lot of these things. This is our governance structure, and from the inside, actually, it's more simple than it looks from the outside. So we have the board, which is the you could say the highest governance body below the General Assembly. The General Assembly are all the members of EURAM. We had an online General Assembly meeting yesterday, and we will have another General Assembly during the conference. So the General Assembly is the highest decision-making body. And then we have the board, which consists of the chair, that's me, I'm elected, the president, Alessandro, who also has been elected. Then the vice president for finance and governance is member of the board. Maybe go back to the other one, Louisa, yeah. And then we have two members from the Council of Country Representatives, two representatives from the SIGs, the Strategic Interest Groups, and I'll explain what that is later. And we have the Dean of the College of Fellows, and we have Louisa ex officio. That's the board. Then we have the Executive Committee that is led by the President, Alessandro Sattoni. And Alessandro nominates a number of vice presidents for specific fields. So at this moment, I think the ExCom, as we call it, which sounds a little bit like something from the Soviet Union. But the ExCom, I think at this moment has 14 members. So because there's a lot of work, a lot of different things that need to be arranged. The distinction between the board and the executive committee is that the executive committee is responsible for the day-to-day, let's say, operational management of the association and meets more often than the board. The board meets like 3 times a year. And we also, of course, have very strong direct connections between the board and the executive committee. But of course, the executive committee is more, say, on top of things and can make decisions on the spot about, what needs to be done for the association. So this is a typical 2-tier governance system. And then the Fellows College, that is relatively new. I think at this moment we have 27 fellows. These are all people of good, if not excellent, academic standing, but also people who have done a lot for the association in the past. And the fellows help EURAM in many different capacities and roles. You will find them in different committees, etc. Then, as I already mentioned, we have country representatives. For every country where there are 10 or more members, we organize an election and a representative of that country is elected if we have a candidate, which is not always the case. And they have formed together the Council of Country Representatives, and they nominate 2 people to have a seat in the board. So it's basically a matrix organization, you could say, with on the one hand, we have countries, which is geographical. On the other hand, we have the strategic interest groups, which are topics in the field of management research. So the second one, so the strategic interest groups, we have 16 strategic interest groups, all chaired by a particular person, but within a strategic interest group, there are more people at work, because the strategic interest groups are, you could say, apart from the local organizers, like the people from Bath, they do a lot of work to really build the conference. And you cannot do that as one person. So for every strategic interest group, and especially the larger ones, you need a team of people who, divide the different tasks among themselves. And I mention this specifically because I hope that many of you will also personally become active in the association. And I just want to emphasize there are plenty of opportunities for that. You can, in some cases, you can stand to be elected as a country representative. By the way, so what I said was not completely right. The country representatives are also elected directly, but only by those people in a specific country, of course, not by the whole EURAM membership. So you could stand to be elected as a country representative. At the conference, I would encourage you, if you have a specific interest in a strategic interest group, talk with the chair or other people in the leadership and say, okay, I would be willing to do, to help this SIG in the future. And I'm sure you will be most welcome. So we really are always looking for people who want to volunteer to do those jobs. Talking about volunteers, the next and all this information, you can find everybody in these groups at the EURAM website. And actually, all these links are clickable, but I won't do it now. It won't take too much time. So the Scientific Council, again, volunteers, and they do a very important and time-consuming task because they are in the committees for the awards and the grants. So it means reading papers, evaluating grant proposals, reading books, because we have also an award for the best book. So this is a non-trivial, task, and we are very, very thankful for the members of our Scientific Council. And this is something which rotates. Some people leave, others come in. So this is also another very important body. And then we have a small ethics committee of 3 people in case we have, a problem with what is seen as unethical behavior by a member or an officer or anyone connected to EURAM. We have this standing committee that can look into that. Maybe, at this moment already give the opportunity to ask a quick question if there is any. Otherwise, you can save it up to the end. If not, then I hand over to Alessandro.
Thank you, Niels. Niels explained very well the governance of EURAM. And I also invite, like Niels did, to be active in the society. I think a society is live only when people belong to the society and commit time with passion to the society. So this is quite important. You are joining the society with your first meeting, but then I hope you will become active member and you will continue to support the society in the future. So basically what we offer as a society is the main event is an academic conference that typically is organized in this period. In fact, we are very close to the conference that we will have in 2 weeks. And this year will be organized in Bath. It typically is a large conference. So we have basically 1,700 delegates, probably more. We have a presentation of 1,200 or more paper, where some are also online. We discuss a lot about if to keep or not an online format. The advantage to have an online format is to welcome also people that for some reason cannot come. And eventually also for people that are, they are located in very distant countries, and we know that it's not so easy to take maybe 1 week and to reach EURAM conference. Where is it? Then we have symposia that are also growing and a key component of the conference. And so at the end is a very interesting event where you can present your research, you can attend a keynote, you can attend consortia. We have labs with the practitioner involved. So it's really rich, and you have a diversity of perspective that can be useful for the development of your professional profile. And another thing that I want to stress a bit is the developmental tone that you can have at EURAM that is not typical for every society, but for us is very important to create a community, to develop contribution for everybody, to try to support any paper that is presented to shape the best destiny for the paper, so to reach publication in the future. Within the conference, we also organize Monday and Tuesday, the first 2 days, the doctoral colloquium. The doctoral colloquium will have this year 74 PhDs, so it's really huge, it's very huge. And we have clearly a vice president that is in charge of the doctoral colloquium, that is Mine, and basically it's a moment where you can meet with colleagues that are doing also the PhD, you can learn new practices, maybe you can find co-authors. So it's quite interesting, and it's a developmental place where you can develop your future idea about academy and your future competencies and strength. Then we organize in a different time period, typically is March, EURAM Early Career Consortium. This is a typical event for early career scholar. So scholars that are probably started their career, but they want to navigate the complexity of an academic world that is evolving in different direction. And also we know that there are still a lot of diversity within European country, but also at the international level, obviously. So this is a very nice event. We have a group of mentors that are very passionate and committed. We have a vice president, that is Joanna, that is engaged in this. And as a president, I try to attend, but also a past president try to attend, because there is really, you can really breathe the EURAM experience in these three events. You can understand how people tend to build on each other, how people tend to commit time with passion and try to do a contribution to our scientific, but also personal life. Okay, we can move to the next one, Luisa, thanks. We, as a society, are offering also different opportunities. For us, opportunity mean grants, award, and we are also launching new award. I will be more specific in a minute. So the current award and grant that are in place, we have a EURAM grant scheme. This is basically a possibility to get a research grant. You need to develop a proposal, you need to submit. You can find all detailed information in the website. And then there is a committee, that is a scientific council, is split among different teams, and one of the team should assess the grant scheme and try to make a ranking and then some comment to help, member of EURAM to develop some research. It's not, an ERC amount, millions, but it's something that can give you a push to develop your research and to hopefully to have a publication supported by EURAM. The EURAM Best Book Award is also very important. This is something that basically requires that you have a recent book that you submit, and then still again, there is a member, a team, a sub-team of the scientific council will assess and read the books and provide a ranking comment, and then we will give an award to the best book at the conference. The EURAM Edith Penrose is really probably the most prestigious in terms of, is a people that really had an impact on the field. And so this is sponsored by INSEAD. And typically there are nomination or self-nomination. So you can also submit your self-nomination. In this case, it's very, it's very competitive, because we are thinking about people that did a significant contribution in the field, that changed the field. So this is very, very demanding in terms of profile that you need to submit if you want to have a chance to win. And it's also great for us to have these impactful and very highly reputed people, because they can present also their research to the community, and we can celebrate the achievement they have. The conference awards are relatively typical award you can find almost in every conference, the best and most inspirational papers. And we also like to celebrate the best reviewer. Reviewing is very important. So I underline that anytime you submit a paper to a conference, is a good practice to also be a reviewer, because we are a community. Niels was very clear that we are a voluntary community. So all people that you see today involved are voluntary based. So we don't get any money, but we commit with passion and generosity our time to the society, so to nurture the society and especially the future generation. And then we are still developing 3 more awards that are not here listed. So the idea is to give recognition to all EURAM members that are contributing also to young academic, teaching, and also impact to practice. This will be the three new awards. If you will come to the General Assembly, we will also celebrate these people. We will distribute the award, and we will give you a very transparent view about the winner and the reason behind. All process is managed by Hervé, that is our vice president in charge of this, but also the scientific council. And you can find the disclosure of all process criteria in the website. So everything is there. If you have any questions, clearly you can send us an email, but basically you can find everything there. Luisa, we can move to the next one. Thanks. Okay, so this is my final slides. I want to say a few words about European Management Review. European Management Review is a journal of the society. It's quite important. We have two editors, Anna and Michael. They are doing an excellent job. So the journal statistics that I've seen a few weeks ago, provided by the publisher, that is Wiley, are very positive and encouraging. The journal is a good track. And so this is an opportunity for you as a member of the society to submit your paper, your best paper to EMR. Clearly, there is no guarantee that it's published. You may be DEX rejected or rejected, as it happens in any journal. The editor has a responsibility to move the journal to the highest standard. So, and I'm confident we will do. You may receive for EURAM newsletter where I and all my colleagues provide you with some information. You can find all past newsletter on the website. So clearly you can have also a look about where the society is going. We publish also one annual report that is very informative, where all people mentioned before by Niels provide very transparently what they did, the achievement, the result. And so this is very clear about, is a kind of, profit and loss or balance sheet of activity that we perform. You can find really all information that may be useful to get an understanding of the society. We have a EURAM e-job market. So if you have a new position to cover, maybe you can post there and maybe collect the interest of potential candidate. We have an e-directory where to find other members. And we just recently created a EURAM Community Connect. So you can basically post something that can be visible for the colleagues. In general, as you can see from these slides and the previous one, this is an academic society that I hope will become your home, probably your primary home or your secondary home, because this is a place where you can find a very transparent, democratic involvement of people. And so I hope you can find also several benefits that I try to explain in this short presentation. I'm happy to take any question. Otherwise, I leave the floor to my colleagues.
Maybe we move on now.
Luisa, we don't see the presentation.
It is Panos and Steve who
Okay,
have the
perfect.
presentation.
So you share, Panos?
Sure. Steve, do you want to make an intro?
I was just hoping to be a passenger, but I will say a few words before you do all the hard work, Panos. Which is, I will say, to this community has been a motif of our process. I have a great deal to be grateful to Panos and to other colleagues at Bath who've done all the hard work. Really, all I want to say to this community is welcome to this conversation. It's great to hear from Niels and from Alessandro, from others about the wonderful society that EURAM is. We are, Panos and I and other colleagues in the school are very much looking forward to welcoming you to our opportunity to host EURAM in Bath in a couple of weeks. We're really excited about that. We are hoping that the British summer plays ball and that we get a very nice bit of British summer to welcome you all to our wonderful city. But with that, welcome. I'm happy to hand over to Panos, who will share a bit more about the Bath conference.
Great. Thank you very much, Steve. So as Steve mentioned, we are the conference co-chairs. And in my other life, I also serve on the executive committee that Niels and Alessandro mentioned. Can everyone see my slides well? Good. Okay. So I would like to say a few words about the conference theme, because this is central to the conference in the sense that it has allowed us to build a number of sessions revolving around the main theme. And this year, the theme is about fostering innovation to address grand challenges. And the argument here is that technological innovation has really helped us address many of the long-standing challenges, such as the aging population and climate change. But at the same time, the application and adoption of new technologies creates new challenges. Things like by deploying big data analytics and autonomy in transportation, there are new challenges that emerge, and many of which are of an ethical nature. So then we pose the question, how can we deploy and use innovation to help long-standing and more recent challenges without creating new ones? So that's the overarching theme of the conference. And we have a number of sessions that are built around this overarching theme. So on Tuesday, the 25th, we have a number of labs. You can think of these labs as panel sessions involving both academics and practitioners, where we are trying to address certain aspects of grand challenges. So for instance, in terms of context, we focus on industries that have been affected by regulatory and environmental changes, by looking at aviation and shipping, where both industries have the target to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. So we try to understand how companies, organizations, and international organizations, if you like, respond to these challenges. Similarly, the impact of artificial intelligence on the future of work in terms of professions, in terms of forms of employment, skills, and so on and so forth. And then we also have two labs that look more at the process of research. So we are looking at how to build interdisciplinary collaborative research to address grand challenges, and also the role of innovation intermediaries to encourage entrepreneurs, startups, and scale-ups to rise to the challenge. We also have a new element, if you like, in this year's conference, which is a kind of innovation we have introduced, is what we call the Action Lab. And this is a site visit to the Airbus in Filton, which is near Bath. I hope that you have registered to attend this event. If not, currently we are at full capacity, but try and contact us if you're still interested, and we can see whether we can accommodate anyone more. Then we have three keynote sessions, if you like. The first one is on the opening keynote on the 26th, where Nikolai Voss is going to ask the question whether managerial authority should be rethought. So the fact that to address grand challenges, we need coordination and cooperation. So what's the role of authority and hierarchy to coordinate work? And then we have on Thursday and Friday, we have some keynote panels. So the first one is on ethical challenges related to the adoption of artificial intelligence. And here we have Leanne Allen, who is a partner from KPMG and the director of Institute of Coding, which is a UK-wide that was initiated by the UK Prime Minister. And then finally on Friday, we have a keynote panel about the future of management research. where we will be discussing whether we need new theories, tools, paradigms to help address grand challenges, understand and address grand challenges, or we can build on existing tools, paradigms, and frameworks. Okay, so I would like to tell you a few more practical things relating to your trip to Bath. So as Steve mentioned, we are very excited to welcome you, but we thought maybe we can give you some practical tips. So we would be expecting that most of you will be landing either in Bristol or in Heathrow, and then you can take the train to come to Bath. So from Bristol is a short train ride. From London is about an hour and 20 minutes. Again, you can find information on the web about how to reach the Bath city center in the first instance, and then the university campus subsequently. So Bath is, you can see that on the screen on the left-hand side, the city of Bath, which is where the train station and the bus station will be based. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the University of Bath, where you can reach it either by bus. It's a short ride, 20 minutes. You can take a taxi, of course, or drive, or I can tell you that our undergraduate students tend to walk up the hill. It's up to you whether you want to walk or to rely on technology to reach the campus. Of course, on the way down, it's much easier because it's downhill. Here you can see the campus map and the School of Management. The conference is organized around 3 main buildings. Most of the sessions will be at the School of Management, which is 10 East, the Chancellor's Building, and the Edge. And these 3 buildings are in close vicinity. So you may be able to see 10 East, which is a blue-colored building in the middle of the screen of the map, and then you have the Edge on the right-hand side and Chancellor's Building on top, a little bit higher on the map. When you arrive, you will go through the doors of the School of Management, and then a few steps down, you can reach the pavilion where there will be the registration desk. And you can register and get your badge for the conference, which will allow you access to all the different buildings. So this is it from our side. I hope this has given you an overview of, well, the conference theme, the sessions, the plenary sessions of the conference, as well as how to reach your destination. And yes, I don't know whether you have any questions for us.
So there are already questions coming in the chat, and also at the end, of course, there will be the opportunity to ask more questions. So in the meantime, I propose that we go on with the explanation of the conference structure by Hamid. And we may want to have the slides, Louisa.
Yes, they're coming.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is my 14th annual conference that I'm attending. Just like you, the newcomers. I started in 2011. My first meeting that I attended was in Tallinn, Estonia. And just like you, I was wondering what I should be doing, where I'm going, what is this structure, and what am I going to get out of this conference? I've spent a lot of money. By the way, I'm a part of that 527 people you saw out of Europe, because I'm really in USA. So welcome. and I'm sure you're going to get a lot out of this conference. And I know many of you are interested in publications and get published and get connected with colleagues. So this is a good opportunity for you. So could you share the next slide, please? Well, welcome to Bath again, and I encourage you to find your bearings and get situated and get all the research you want to do about the city. It's a beautiful city. I've been there a number of times because I used to live in the UK for a number of years. So I encourage you to plan some leisure time and downtime apart from the conference to visit this wonderful city. And there are other historical places around Bath that I'm sure you're going to enjoy a lot. So have a little printout just in case your phone doesn't work or you don't have any connection to the Wi-Fi to ensure that you can get around Bath and visit everything there as well. It's really a welcoming city. Can I have the next slide, please? All right. So getting organized for the conference. Usually in late May, early June, you get a lot of information about the conference, and that prepares you for what you need to do. But as an academician or even as practitioner, your concern is your area of interest. How do I get published? How do I get connected with other colleagues? How do I know about the things which is happening in my area of specialization? All those things are happening in strategic interest groups. And please remember, the backbone of this entire academy is SIGs. SIGs create everything. They are essentially what we do all the time. It depends on your area of interest. You can become a member in a SIG. And because we are a volunteer organization, you can actually become active, become a volunteer, propose tracks, and I'll just explain all that structure in a little bit. But essentially, by becoming involved in your particular SIG, then you can get to know colleagues, make connections, and that's why we have face-to-face conference, and that's why we actually selected that approach to our conferences, unlike some other venues. So I encourage you to do that. And also customize your program and ensure that just in case you lose connection via your mobile apps, have some of those sessions printed so you know where you are going, or what is the next session you are going to. And please do not think that you can attend all the sessions, because by selecting your respective SIG sessions that you are interested to, there are other parallel sessions in other SIGs. So by selecting your respective SIGs, you can attend the ones that you are interested in. And depending where you are in your academic career, you can be a PhD, you can be a junior colleague, you can be a senior colleague, depending on your academic standing and your interest, there are different sessions going on. So as you're reviewing your mobile app, please select the program that you're interested in and put it in your individual itinerary, and then select from those so you can go see and become involved in that conversation. And also every SIG has really 3 main opportunities for you to become involved. In day 1 of the conference, the actual conference, which is on Wednesday, you will notice there is a kickoff session in each SIG. That's where the SIGs, normally the SIG officers, they introduce themselves. There's an opportunity for connections. And then on Thursday, there is a plenary sessions from each SIG normally. And that plenary sessions, usually they share the most current trend in that particular SIG and based on the topic. And on Friday, there is usually a wrap-up session in each SIG. So I encourage you to be involved in all those sessions so you can get your area of interest and become connected with other members in the SIG. And remember, the best way to get connected, regardless of where you are in your academic career, is to develop your elevator speech. Have that 30-second elevator speech so you can connect with colleagues as they are going between the sessions, as you're socializing during the tea break, or during the lunchtime, so you can collaborate with other colleagues. The conference presents an excellent opportunity for comparative studies between you, depending on which country you are in, and other countries, and also offers a good opportunity to connect and build a collaborative research agenda with other colleagues. All my research is done with other colleagues throughout Europe, throughout Africa, Asia, and that takes collaboration and it builds on the knowledge base that we are operating on. So I encourage you to get yourself organized, see what you want to contribute to and how you want to become a volunteer so you can become a part of our organization. Everyone is welcome to volunteer, and we encourage you to do that. We really depend on every one of our members for that. Can I have the next slide, please? All right. As I said, the backbone of our organization is our interest groups. We have 14 of them. The number 14 is usually the conference theme, but the other 13 are standing SIGs. And within each SIGs, we have standing tracks and we have revolving new tracks depending on the trends. So I encourage you to propose new tracks. You and your colleagues propose new tracks, and they are due in July of this year for the following year in Florence, Italy. So that's one way to actually become involved and get to know your colleagues in each of these interest groups. I myself, I'm a part of Gender, Race, and Diversity in Organizations. I volunteer there as program chair, as the SIG chair, and as you know, is all volunteer. And we all depend on you to become a volunteer to help our organization excel. So select one of these SIGs, make it your home, and please contribute to that particular SIG. Can I have the next slide, please? All right. So as a part of the practicality, please understand, if you're coming to Heathrow, there is direct bus from Heathrow to Bath. You don't have to go to London to take a train to Bath. So be mindful of that. And also, if you're traveling to any foreign countries, and I was looking at the list of countries, there were 44 countries that were represented as a part of the newcomers on the first slide. Well, I've been in 24 of those countries, and believe me, each country has different regulations. So I would highly encourage you to have everything printed in case you have different questions by the immigration officer as you arrive in the respective port of entry. Will it be by train? Will it be by ferries or by any other means? It's important that you do not really have anything on your phone. Please remember, in many countries, including England, once you get to the port of entry and open your phone to get any information, they actually have the right to inspect that information on your phone. So anything you need, and sometimes the phones don't work, have it printed. Even your boarding pass, have it printed. Sometimes the phones don't work. So it's really important that you have, for example, if you got a visa for UK, it's imperative to have your return ticket or the itinerary that when you're returning to your home country, printed and available. And even though I have lived in UK for many years, and I can go there without any issues, I always print everything there. And become familiar with the laws for entry into a country. Remember, now you are a guest. You don't belong to that country, just like I don't. So respect their laws, understand their laws, so you would have no issue where you're entering the country. As far as the conference itself, have a casual attire, be comfortable. Remember, the sessions may be a little bit apart and you're going from one building to the next. And UK can get chilly at times because it's an island and humidity when it kicks up and it's cloudy, it gets a little bit chilly. So get something to wear over there. So just in case, all right? And have some kind of rain jacket or umbrella or something ready to go, because in England, you're walking, it's nice and sunny, and the next second it gets rainy. So have those things prepared so you can make your journey comfortable. Next slide, please. Once you check in your hotel, then you can come and register at the conference site and pick up your badge, because remember, your badge is required to enter in any part of the conference. That's really imperative. Get connected. We have Wi-Fi connections. And remember, some of you may not be able to get connections out of the Wi-Fi which is available. So put your cell phone on an airplane mode. So in case you're going to get charged otherwise, based on your own mobile company's regulations. So make sure you do that for yourself and download our mobile app. We have a robust mobile app where you can see the programs, you can see the venues, you can chat with colleagues, you can find participants in that mobile app. So make sure that you have done some homework on that so you can easily navigate through that mobile app. And always stay tuned with that EURAM app, because it gets updated all the time. And if there's any changes, there's any new things, any new announcements, there is chat that it can be used by other colleagues who are attending the conference, and they can send you a message. So stay tuned with that all the way through. But the bottom line of any face-to-face conference is connections, connections, connections. Believe me, since 2011 that I've been attending EURAM, and I've been religious about that every year, even through pandemics when we had online, I have attended every single annual conference. And the reason I do that, because EURAM is a place which allows me to connect with colleagues, expand my research, and on a yearly basis, I have 3 or 4 projects that I've organized with colleagues from EURAM that I can work on. So this is the center where you can actually expand all your academic endeavors. So I encourage you to be ready to have your 30-second elevator speech and introduction as you get to know colleagues. And there are a lot of them, and there are a lot of opportunities for that. Next slide, please. As my colleague Alessandro mentioned, there are a lot of opportunities within EURAM, and there are a lot of benefits to becoming a member. and becoming involved. So become a volunteer, take advantage of everything we have to offer, and this is all a part of your membership. And we really look forward to the conversation in person, and I open it up to any questions you may have.
Okay. So I think we are now open to general questions, Louisa.
Indeed, quite a few were put in the chat, and I think quite a few were answered, but there might be more.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Christina. I have a question actually. Basically, I was selected to act as a session chair. So yeah, I was wondering if you can provide like further information, what will be my responsibilities, because that's the first time I'm attending a conference.
Okay, yeah, I understand. So a session chair is most of all a timekeeper. So it's very important that all the presenters in the session get the opportunity to present their paper. And then that there's also some time for discussion. So you will see, okay, so if I have 3 papers in a session, you know, how much time will there be for a presentation and how much time for a discussion? And then, you know, keep to that, because otherwise the third speaker will not, you know, get sufficient time. So that is really important. It's more, I would say, a kind of an organizational role than that you should feel compelled to ask questions yourself. And so there are plenty of people in the audience who will ask questions, but it's your task to really, you know, manage time.
I see. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Dr. Norbert?
Yes, hi, my name is Norbert Lin. As far as I can see, I'm a discussant. Could you explain to me what that means?
That means you should be reading the papers for that particular session where you are the discussant, and be prepared to share some positive critiques and how the papers can be improved. And please keep in mind that folks who present a topic to a conference, they're usually working on a more robust follow-up so they can publish in the journal. So they're trying to get some positive feedback, some good critique, so how they can build on that idea. So the discussant's role is to provide a quick synopsis of those critiques and offer it in about a couple of minutes or so because of the time constraint.
And I have to do that for all 4 papers in my track.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just a quick question, Roxana here from Sydney.
Yes.
Yes, I'm just wondering, how do I find out where I should go for that particular session? For example, if I want to come and join on 25th, the labs, like how do I know the location? Because I wonder, I would possibly get lost. It's a very big place and so many buildings. I'm really confused. Thanks.
Sure. Well, our mobile app offers all the locations for each activity and each session, and that's the best place to find it. And usually when you register, they can help you with the mapping of the place. And that's also our colleagues. They have students who help navigating through the university as well. So they're usually volunteers on site as well.
Can you say more about it, Panos, maybe?
Yeah, look, we will have teams of people and lots of signage on campus in order that if they'll be wearing T-shirts that mark them out as volunteers. If anybody is unsure of where anything is, there will be lots of people there to help you find your way. I think the tip about the app in terms of finding the place where you should go is absolutely good. And the other thing to say about labs is labs are not just drop in, anybody comes along kind of things. I think Panos would quite like me to say, basically some of these activities are pre-registered. So you will, through the pre-registration process, be informed as to where those things are happening.
Yes, I'm not a PhD student, but on my app it's showing like I am also able to attend those labs. Is that right?
That's correct.
I have put on the chat box the link to the registration page. So please use the registration page, and you will hear from EURAM or the research office at Bath about the outcome of your registration completion.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for the introductory. And I am a first time for the EURAM conference. As you mentioned, and many of us come to try to get some feedback so we can have our paper published. And also it's a good opportunity to meet with maybe journal editors. So I want to ask for some advice. What is the best way to connect with the editor or to find them? Is there any specific session for journal editors?
Yes, we do have sessions with journal editors. You can find that one on our mobile app, and you can pull it from the general program to your own itinerary, so you know what time it is and you can attend it. And that's the best way to do it. And also you can connect with other colleagues that they may have projects, and they can help you with the research too. So there are a number of ways to do that.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, I have a question.
I'm Shiremi from Japan. Can I ask one question?
Sure.
I am the presenter on the Friday 28th for the SIG04 family business behavior. What is the time for the presentation? Is it like a 10 to 15 minutes usually? The second question is that will the presentation be recorded or no recording? Thank you.
The presentations are not recorded, and depending on the sessions, you usually do not have more than 15 minutes, and the chair would usually cut you off at that point. And there was another question related to your question I saw. I would encourage you to tell the story of your research. This is not a defense of a PhD thesis. So I would encourage everyone, rather than trying to explain your literature gap and your problem statement and the purpose, please share with the audience the story behind your research. Share more of the finding, the conclusion, and so on. And engage the audience in your presentation rather than just going through the sections of your work, because you're never gonna do that in 15 minutes. So tell the story, engage the audience, and seek their feedback, because their feedback is not about to criticize you, but rather help you build on that research so you can go on and get it published in more robust ways.
Thank you.
Actually, hello. Can I ask a question, please?
Yes,
Sure.
of course. Go ahead.
My name is Rosina, and I would like to thank you for the informative session. And I'm going to be an online presenter, and I would like to know if you guys have any specific information, instruction for online presenters. Also, I wonder if I want to attend any in-person sessions, is there any option for me to attend via like online platform or something like this? Thank you.
Who takes that question? I think I can answer, but there might be others who are better positioned, maybe Stephen or Panos.
Sure, I can say it. So as for the presentation, I think I wouldn't see the online medium as really very different to the in-person medium, right? So the advice that's already been given, keep it brief, keep it focused, think 15 minutes, share the highlights, emphasize the findings, give people ways into a dialogue around your research. I think all of those things are really good tips. On to the second part of the question, no is the short answer, right? You know, there's a purposeful distinction between the on-campus face-to-face conference and the online conference. The reason we have the online conference is to facilitate colleagues who can't make it to Bath, but it's too much to ask of the infrastructure. And also, I think our experience of hybrid events is that they are challenging. There will be some parts of the conference program, so I think it's important to note things like the keynotes and other things, they will be recorded and made available. So fundamentally, you will be able to access some parts of the conference, but in terms of being able to drop in and see what's going on in particular sessions, that's not going to be possible.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I see a raised hand.
Hello?
Ruaya?
Hi, yes, this is Rueha from Sri Lanka. My question is to Dr. Hamid. Dr. Hamid, could you please elaborate a little bit more about the 30-second elevator pitch that you talked about, please? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Between the sessions, during break time, during lunchtime, dinner time, whatever there is an occasion, you'll be talking to colleagues. That's how you expand your network, and that's really the purpose of any ground face-to-face conference. So you need to be ready to explain in short periods of time as colleagues running between the sessions or talking during the break time, so you can introduce your area of interest and get other colleagues interested in your research so you can collaborate. And by having that elevator speech or 30-second introduction to what you are working on and get other colleagues interested in your work, you can do collaborative research. So that really is helpful. I've been doing that since 2005 in different academies, and I've been able to connect with colleagues really quickly and have your information about how to email you and other information handy, so you can work with colleagues and ensure that you get that one from your colleagues so you can keep in touch with them after the conference.
I remember when I was a
Dr.
PhD student, thank you. When I was a PhD student, you know, someone asked me, you know, what is your research on? And I started a long story, and after a couple of sentences, he cut me off and he said, you know, apparently you don't know what you're doing. That was rather painful. We have another raised hand. Fotia?
Yes, please. How are you? I want to ask, again, I don't know how to present my paper. I'm an author. I don't know what's the rubric exactly to present the paper, and how can is it a discussion? Is it, what's the way?
There are no recipes, there are no rubrics. As I said, this is not oral defense of a thesis or dissertation. This is about telling the story. What is the significance of your research? Why are you sharing it with the audience? And those are the type of things. Well, what is the finding? What is the conclusion? What else needs to be done? Because essentially, as a conference, We are looking at the current state of knowledge in each of our 6 specialization. And we are building on that, and we are standing on the shoulders of our other colleagues who have already done the research. And now we are taking the next step and building knowledge.
So there will no, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so there will not be any questions after I say my story, for example, or something. Like there's no discussion at all.
No,
Like it's a general.
Now, after each presentation, there is time, depending on the session chair. Some session chairs keep the discussions all the way to the end, and they let each presenter do their presentation. But in some sessions, you'll find that after each session, then the chair would give you 5 minutes for discussions following that paper presentation. But in either case, the discussion is going to be focused on what you presented. If there was anything which required further clarification or colleagues offering critiques for improving your work.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
I think what also works very well is, if someone has a question for you after your presentation and after the session, go to that person and engage in a conversation. Say, well, this was a really interesting question. So could you expand on that or something? So that is the way, I think, to really build connections. Other questions? Okay. I'm not sure all the questions in the chats have been answered. Let's have a look. Yeah, a lot of things are more from a practical nature. So, anybody also say from the EURAM people present who want to add something to what has been said?
Professor,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Oh. So we have 2 people. Who's first?
Mohammed Naeem is here. Can you hear me, Professor?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. Professor, I submit my paper and request for the publish of my abstract only. I am the final year student of PhD in China. So is it possible the EURAM suggest me few journals to submit my paper for the further publication? Is it possible? The EURAM platform help us to publish our paper and recommend few journals.
EURAM is a very big organization, so I think that is a question you should ask, during or after your presentation to people in the audience and people in your SIG who are specialized in that particular field. So that is something, there are many SIGs within EURAM where I wouldn't, be able to give good advice, and there are others like international management, which is my own field, where I could do that. But that is something you have to do at the level of the SIG and the level of the session, I think. Yeah, does it answer your question, Mohammed? And
yes, Professor.
Was another one?
Thank you.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah,
yes, thank you so.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much. I understand.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other? Was it Louisa? Yeah, Louisa, go ahead.
Good morning or afternoon. Thank you again for this session. My quick question was, I was able to download the app, but I'm not seeing when the keynote speakers are scheduled for the different days.
Louisa, can you say something about that?
Sure. On the app, when you look at the, I'm looking at it right now. If you look at the program, you can filter on the top right, you can filter by session types. And if you're interested in coffee breaks, you can filter all the coffee breaks. That's always interesting for everyone. And you can filter on many things, on the keynotes, other types of sessions. So we have filters that help you to build your program.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, I see in the chat that there are also some people inquiring whether there are still possibilities to go on the Airbus tour. Can you say something about that, Panos?
Yes, so on the link I have sent about the labs, there will be a link for the Airbus visit as well. We had to submit the names of the people registered for security purposes to Airbus to approve. But in case there are any cancellations in the meantime, we will be able to make adjustments. So by all means, register. And if there are cancellations, then we can accommodate you.
Okay. Anything else? If not, I hope to see all of you, or many of you at least, in Bath at the conference. And, you know, I hope you will really enjoy it, because that's the most important part, of course. Academic work is hard labor, so we are entitled to have some fun from time to time. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
Bye.
much. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And bye-bye, Professor. Thank you.
Bye, thank you.